Hey guys, we're back. A little while ago we took a look at Kittens in a Blender, a very disturbingly fun little card game, and now we're back to take a look at more Kittens in a Blender. The expansion to the original game comes in a little tuck box and adds the ability to add 2 extra player counts to your game, as well as a handful of new cards and abilities in there. Anyway, we're going to get right in and take a look. So we have our More Kittens in a Blender fold out here. Talks about the new cards. We have Rodent's Revenge, Mama Cat, Kid Calico, and Mouse in the House. Those are all new cards that were added to the game. It also adds pairs, one for each color of the original game, as well as the 2 new cats that are worth double points for you saving them and double minus points for them getting blended. They're basically 2 cats on 1 card. And they have the flavors. You play them in the into the blender, except nothing can move them. The player with the most kittens blended places the flavor card in front of them. Flavor cards count as 6 points at the end of the game. Only 1 flavor can be in the blender at a time. They're kind of neat. Add a little incentive for you to blend, even if your own cats are in there. And that's not much to this other than that. So the first thing we have here are our pairs, which, as I said, are 2 cats on 1 card. And they include them for the 2 new colors, as well as the 4 original colors from the game. They have the big 2 in there to remind you. And I love the names of the cats. Bert and Ernie there. This one strikes a familiar tone. Master Blaster is a reference to Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. And Cain and Abel, yin and yang. Very cute little addition, and of course more adorable artwork for the game. Next we have probably the biggest reason for picking up this expansion is the new color decks to add new players to the game. And I'm not going to go through each of these, but there are some cute artwork in there, as well as some adorable cat names. And then our other new color. So these will actually allow you to play the game up to 6 players now, where it was just 4 in the original. And then on to the rest of the cards. There are a bunch of new types of cards in here, as well as ones that have been around in the original set. They had to add a lot of these. These are just like standard stuff that was in the original game. They had to add more of these so it doesn't mess up the draw percentages. As you're drawing the cards, there's a % chance you're going to draw a move 2, a move 3. And by adding all these extra cards in there, they had to add some of those in as well to keep that balance and numbers right. Because of the new players, we've also got a couple extra blends and blend pulses in there. It is worth noting that although there's new blend cards in there, there is no change to the rule about how many blends need to trigger in order to end the game. So the game's still going to end on the same amount, but you have more chance of drawing, which means you're not necessarily going to go through that whole deck. Depending on where these come up, they can come up quicker. We have some of our new cards, which are kind of cool. Mouse in the House, he randomly lets you steal cards from other players. Kid Calico, during a blend, he rescues kittens from the blender. Doesn't stop the blend like a blend pulse would do. This will actually just rescue the cats. The blender goes off as normal, and there's nobody in it. Next we have Mama Cat. She saves all the kittens in the box. The ones in the counter and in the blender still stay. There's the opposite of that, which is Rodent's Revenge. Blends all the kittens in the blender, but the ones in the counter and in the box stay. A couple more Mouse in the House. I think there's more of those. And we have our flavor cards. There's one of each flavor. Spearmint, strawberry, French vanilla, or chocolate. They're the new disturbing part to the game. And they add 6 points to the player with the most blended cats. And then, of course, there is a expansion card list. This is kind of a really cool addition. Most games don't think to add this, but it actually specifies exactly what cards come in the set. Not only can you use it to verify that everything's there, but in the long run, if you decide to pull the expansion out and play with just the base game again, you know exactly what you need to pull out of the deck to put everything back to the way it was. It's a very small expansion, but a nice one. The fact that you can now play 6 players in Kittens in a Blender really is the main core of this game. The double cats are a neat little addition. It's kind of stuff you would expect from an expansion pack. Some new things, nothing overwhelming. The dual cats are kind of cool. The flavors are hit or miss. I'm not sold on that. The whole point of the game to me so far has been to protect your cats from being in the blender. Put them in the box while blending your opponent's cats. Now if somebody has one of those, there's a chance that blending your own cats is actually bonus up to an extent. Now you do lose points for blending cats. You only gain 6 points for the flavor, so you kind of have to balance it out. How many are in there? How many points am I going to lose versus the 6 points I'm going to gain? And so on. So it does add a new strategy element to the game, which is all kind of cool. But at the same time, it feels kind of off compared to the rest of the game. I do like the other new cards, the Mama Cat saving them, and so on. The mouse pushing the blend button is a cute one, as well as the ability to steal cards from other players. So interesting things there all around to add to the game. Overall, it makes it takes a fun game and adds more to it, adds more players to it, adds a little bit more strategy and tactical aspect to it as well, while keeping the theme of the entire game. So overall, nothing spectacular, but as it should be, a nice small expansion that complements the original game and improves it where it can, especially with the extra player count. If you're a fan of Kittens in a Blender and you have a couple extra friends you want to play, definitely worth picking it up. The only complaint I have is that I sleeve my cards, and they're not even in good sleeves, they're just penny sleeves, but because I do so, the base game barely fits in the box. It's right to the top, and now these extra cards will not fit in the main box. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for that. If they had made it just slightly deeper, you could have stacked the cards on end and done it that way, which I might end up doing anyway just to get everything in there. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for more Kittens in a Blender. If you're interested in the game, definitely check it out. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.